Imagine not being able to read the paper because your hands were shaking. Imagine not being able to read newsprint as your world faded to black. The National Federation of the Blind, Newsline, Indiana. With your host, Lee Martin, and co-host, Florence Myers-McSwine.
Welcome to this week's National Federation of the Blind Newsline Indiana show. I'm your co-host, Florence Myers-McSwine, and our host, Mr. Lee Martin.
And Florence, I tell you once again, we have been so blessed to have so many good shows on, and I'm so excited about today's show as well.
I am
But,
too.
I want to let our viewers and listening audience to understand that we have comments that come into our show quite often. And if you want to comment on our show or comment on the NFB Newsline, please send us a comment with the instructions that we have on the screen and those that you hear on how to contact us. We would welcome those comments, and our comments are going to be read on our shows. So we're going to take a short pause because I'm so excited about coming on with our new guest for this particular week. And just stay tuned, and we'll be right back with our new guest.
I love to read. I've always loved to read. Reading takes me places I'm not able to go by air, bus, or car. I plan on reading every newspaper Newsline has.
No more did I have to wonder about the rest of the story when disaster struck. I could open the local paper for that town and find out. And when I discovered that NFB Newsline could be a powerful tool for TV watching, listing all my favorite channels and what was on when, I was most definitely hooked.
I'm Danny Wayne Beamer, Program Manager of the Elder Blind Program at the Will Center in Terre Haute, Indiana. I introduce the NFB Newsline to seniors in 13 southwestern counties in Indiana. I also utilize the NFB Newsline for my radio station public affairs shows. The NFB Newsline. Experience it today.
Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
We are the nation's blind, and we read NFB Newsline.
Bro, this new Travis Scott song is so lit. Straight up.
Yeah, it's fire.
Yo, let me get started on all this craziness. Like she tryna die, but better switch it up quick. Let me teach a lesson. Teacher in the building. Get ready for class, cause you about to get to school. And rule number 1, look before you cross the street. Look left, right, left again before you move your feet. Rule number 2, hold up, I'm talking to you. Put everything down, you don't end up on the news. Rule number 3 is don't run. No driver is trying to hit a child. None. Rule number 4, while crossing the street, smile and wave. If not, you might end up off your feet. Remember, kids, it's lit to not get hit. Don't follow these rules and your life might end.
And we're back with the National Federation of the Blind Newsline Indiana show. And today we have a special guest, as we indicated earlier, and we want to welcome you to the show, Miss Phyllis Fulford.
Well, thank you so much. It's really an honor to be here. I was very honored when you asked me, Florence. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes. So, Miss Fulford, you are a woman of many, many hats. And
hats, maybe not.
And when we met you,
yes.
we were all working out, and
yes.
We shared conversation, and next thing we know, voila, you're here on the show.
Yes.
And you just have so much going on that we just had to have you here, and we just want to thank you once again.
Well, thank you.
One of the many hats we see that you have here is you with the Indiana Public School System's retired music teacher.
Yes, that's
for
right.
Wayne Township.
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay, so how long were you teaching in the Indiana public school system?
Well, I started there in about 1973, and then I did a few years there, then taught in Montgomery County, Crawfordsville, for a few years, and then ended my career back in Wayne Township when we moved back to Indianapolis. So I've had a lot of years in Wayne Township, and I laugh, those kids that I had in junior high are now turning 61. I can't believe that.
Wow.
But I guess that's the case. But anyway, yes, I enjoyed my teaching, loved what I did. I was a lucky person because of that. Yeah.
Now, was your instruction with vocal, or was it instrument, or both?
Vocal, vocal. And I'd do piano. I was a pianist. And so I'd teach piano as well, and music theory and that sort of thing, music history. So I taught from K through 12 over the years. Yeah.
So tell me, music has evolved so much over the years. What's your main genre right now?
Well, I used to sing with the symphonic choir after I retired, and I loved that. But it got to be long rehearsals and, a lot of hours put in. I served on the board of directors of symphonic choir too, which I really, really loved. But I don't know, I love choral music, I love piano music, I love jazz, I love it all.
Wow, I had a great music teacher when I attended Muncie Central High School.
Oh, wow.
And she selected me to be one of the members of the choir ensemble. And so I don't know why, because I can't sing.
Oh, I doubt that.
But I tell you, I have much appreciation for what you've done over the years in IPS school system.
Thank you. I always think, music is a universal language indeed, isn't it?
It is.
It's a universal language, so anyway.
Speaking of music, it takes me back to music when we used to have music memory, where we learned classical music in school.
Oh, yes.
You recall those days?
Oh, yes, that's true.
Now, let's move on to some of the other hats that you wear. So you also volunteer at Second Helpings. You want to explain to our listening and viewing audience what Second Helpings is?
Yes, Second Helpings has been I have to brag on Second Helpings. I call it my second family. Second Helpings was started 20 years ago. We're in our 20th year. When three lovely people saw that there was a lot of wasted food, food waste. Food was being thrown into, dump piles. It was awful. People were hungry in our city and, needed more job training. So they put those three things together, and the mission became empowering people through the power of food. And what we do is we rescue, I think this is where I got to check my notes because these numbers grow every time, 2.5 million pounds of food a year that would be thrown away. And whenever I say rescue, our volunteers go out in trucks to grocery stores, to some restaurants, and get things that their sell-by date, is coming close, and they can't sell it after that date. They bring it downtown to the Second Helpings facility, where we make, you ready? 4,700 hot meals every day that's sent out to over 90 agencies in central Indiana for free. And so our 800 volunteers is quite an organization. Prepare that food, we prep the food, and we put it in hotel pans and make these lovely, kind of, I think, casserole dishes, send them out free to all 90 agencies. And some of those I'd like to mention: Wheeler Mission, I'm sure a lot of people know of it, Horizon House, Dayspring, and the Boys and Girls Clubs. So what we do is we wind up feeding 4,700 hungry folks in central Indiana, Indianapolis area, I would say, every day.
Every day.
Every day, yeah. It's pretty amazing.
That's so important.
Oh, isn't it? Yeah, because you can't learn when you're hungry. You can't, yeah. So we take that very seriously. Then also we have a training class where we've graduated 840 folks who were facing some challenges. Maybe they were underemployed or unemployed, but through this culinary training program, it's free to them, they receive the kind of training where restaurants, all kinds of places around town want to hire them if they've gone through the Second Helpings culinary arts program. So yeah, some 840. It's amazing.
Now you mentioned culinary arts training, and it's free to whom?
It's free to the folks who enroll. They have to be, and like I said, most of them they have some challenges in their life, and I tell you, it turns their lives around when they come out of that program and get hired at, some wonderful restaurant or, it's funny when I go out to restaurants, I'll see folks that have been in our program all over, it's, hey, it's a beautiful program, so, yeah.
Yeah, with the food deserts, and, let's just say those that are economically challenged.
Absolutely.
Or deprived, it really does become a great service. And,
thank you.
And along with that particular service there, you connect that in a way with the Indiana School for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Yes, we do.
There's a program that they have there, and that's called the STEP program. That's Students Training for Employment program.
Yes.
You want to talk a little bit about that and the value of that program as you have seen it?
Yeah. Well, I think this is our third summer, and it's a month-long program, and kids from ISBVI come down, and they work directly with helping to prepare meals, for folks. A lot of them, one of their favorites is to make sandwiches. So maybe in a day's time, they'll make 300 or 400 sandwiches to be sent out to folks who need it. But they do other things. I've worked with them in the dish room. They learn a lot about what it takes to, be in the food business, shall I say, from the preparation to the cleanup, and they're wonderful. They really seem to enjoy it too. I've loved seeing them down there and getting to interact with them there, as well as from the horticulture department. So I love the way those two agencies connect.
And that agency also connects with Bosma Enterprises as well.
Yes.
And I know that there's a gentleman there by the name of James Michaels that also sits on the board at the Indiana School for the Blind and Visually Impaired. So, and he's very essential there with the STEP program. So that's very interesting. We're going to take a short pause, and we're going to come back here shortly and talk some more with Miss Phyllis.
With my failing eyesight, I'm not able to read regular newspapers, and I'm not able to keep up with obituaries.
I've been a homemaker all of my life, but since my vision has failed, I wish I could read my favorite magazines.
Have you heard of the NFB Newsline?
Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
Subscribe free to NFB Newsline today.
Well, welcome back to the show with our special guest today, Ms. Phyllis Fulford. And Phyllis, we were talking about your volunteering over at ISBVI, and you're working volunteering in the horticulture program?
Yes, I've been doing that for, I think it's 7 years now. It's one of my favorite things that I do these days. Do you want to know how I found out about it? I think it's a pretty neat story.
Most definitely.
Okay. I won't say an old friend, but certainly a longtime good friend, Jim Weaver and his wife Veerley have this gorgeous home in Zionsville area, and he has an incredible garden. He's a master gardener. Well, years ago, he had a huge, I'd say an acre or so, garden behind Little Sisters of the Poor on West 86th Street. And he grew all kinds of vegetables there for them and to give. And he would bring a bus of the kids from ISBVI out every summer and let them dig in the ground, you know, for potatoes. And it was so sweet. You'd just see them get so excited and laugh. And they were so thrilled to be able to do that and pick, you know, be in touch with nature. And I thought, oh my, I want to get involved with that. And so Jim introduced me to Elizabeth Garvey, who heads the department there at ISBVI. And it changed my life. I started going there and working directly with the kids and going on field trips with them, helping them, you know, in their classes that they come, and horticulture is one of the high school classes that's offered. They learn so much, and they have so much fun. As I said, digging in the dirt, you know, potting plants, watering, learning about the plants. They also learn about bees, birds. They learn how to identify birds by the sound of their call. It's beautiful. We have bird feeders that the kids, you know, keep up. They help maintain, it's a huge greenhouse. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it is huge. And probably thousands of plants in that place. And the kiddos help make that happen, actually, you know, through their class time there. And then we have a plant sale. Well, actually, we have 3 a year where the public is invited to come in and purchase the plants. And the kids can, you know, when they make that sale, then they think, ooh, my efforts help to support this program. So it's a beautiful thing to see. It's really great.
So you've had the viewpoint of seeing or teaching students that are quote unquote without any disabilities and those that are blind. Do you see much variance in those students, and as far as their skills to learn and their skills to become successful parents and successful leaders in the communities?
That's a wonderful question, Lee. I'm so glad you asked that. You know, the one thing I want to say about working with the students at ISBVI, you know, sometimes their low vision or blindness is only one of many of the disabilities, or I shouldn't say disabilities, challenges that they have, you know? And I have been so inspired by the way they don't let it get them down. In fact, I want to say I see more sense of humor sometime among my kids at ISBVI than I did, you know, in regular public school. They've inspired me to think about what's really important, you know, in this world. Not so much about how you look or if you're having a bad hair day, but how you're interacting with other folks. And they've been an inspiration to me, as Elizabeth Garvey. Oh, what a teacher. She's unbelievable. What she does with those kids and for those kids, you know, I keep saying an inspiration, but that's what it is, really.
Yeah, because we often know through the philosophy of the National Federation of the Blind that, you know, that our students that are, you know, learn to read the Braille and learn technology, you know, we believe that Braille readers are leaders and that they become very successful throughout their lives. And, you know, just the misperception of the condition itself.
Absolutely.
Deprives the children and even into adulthood. So we do know that with the the STEP program that we were talking about. The age for that is 16 to 21, and they have to be an Indiana resident. Is that correct?
Okay, yeah.
So share with us a little bit more. You've been with also the Indianapolis Art Center?
Yes, which is right down the street, right, from ISBVI. Well, I've just been a ceramics student there for like 10 or 11 years, but I also volunteer for the art fair, when the whole area just gets crazy with people. That's a great event, and they need a lot of folks to volunteer to help the artists set up, or just multiple things, So that's a fun thing. I like the art center a lot. Lots of opportunities for kids there and adults. So, yeah.
Now, have you assisted with the art there for blind citizens?
I haven't, but I'm thinking one of these days I'm going to look into trying to do that too. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm capable, but I could try,
Well,
I know how to plant things and all that. I'm a gardener myself. I love gardening, so that I feel pretty. But art, I'm not sure about, but I would certainly be willing to try. Yeah.
Phyllis, when we met you, is one of the things I noticed was your enthusiasm for volunteering and giving to the community. And that is definitely awesome. It is contagious. And for all the volunteering that you do, I just want to say thank you. I think it's awesome.
Well, thank you. I can honestly say I feel that I get more from those kinds of interactions than I give. I mean, I feel like I'm the one who receives a lot. A heart full, I'll say that, yeah.
I'm definitely a giver.
Well, I like to have fun too. Remember, I've said that it's a lot of fun to cut up food and fix food with your friends and, catch up, and to work with those kids at ISBVI. They're always making you laugh. So I don't want to sound like, because I have a lot of fun, as do all the lovely volunteers that I work with. They're doing it because they love doing it, because they enjoy doing it. It gives them a sense of, happiness, I think,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now you're also with the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
I wish I was with the Symphony Orchestra,
So
but
what do you do with them?
I volunteer. I'm a part of the ISOA, which is the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra Association. And it's a lot of women who do different projects to help raise money for the symphony. And we volunteer. We'll be ushers at concerts, or we'll serve coffee. They have a series called the Coffee Concerts downtown, and we'll serve coffee and cookies to the folks who come in to the concerts. And it's, again, fun, and get to be around fabulous music. And so it's something I love doing too.
Okay, and for those who might be interested in volunteering, would you have a contact number or information?
I really would. Secondhelpings.org, is just an easy one to remember to go to. I'm not sure about the other websites, but I'm sure if you just go on the symphony or symphonic, but I do know the Second Helpings website because I've been involved with them for 18 years and seen it evolve, over unbelievable how it's grown, so.
And we'll put that information up on our screen so
wonderful.
that individuals can know where to get this information from.
Or to donate, or to be associated, or to just come down and see what we do. We're always giving tours and a nice free lunch, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, now the ages, what's the minimum age for those who want to volunteer?
At Second Helpings?
Yes.
16, but then they have to be with an adult. It's,
Okay.
yeah. We have some programs for under 16, but 16 to work in the kitchen. And you have to go through serve safe training and all that, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these skills that you're engaging these young people with, it'll last them a lifetime.
Hope so.
And it helps them to be, self-motivated. It helps them to be training themselves as interns for different, jobs and careers. And there's careers outside the food industry that individuals that are blind or visually impaired, readily qualify for.
Yes.
Through many professions, and we've seen those professions, and we just once again, we're going to take us a short pause, and we're going to come back and talk a little bit more before we conclude our show with Miss Phyllis Fulford and all of her hats that she wears. We'll capsize all this in a second, so stay tuned.
The National Federation of the Blind knows that blindness is not the characteristic that defines you or your future. Every day we raise the expectations of blind people because low expectations create obstacles between blind people and our dreams. You can live the life you want. Blindness is not what holds you back.
Welcome back to our show with our guest, Phyllis Fulford. And Phyllis, thank you for being our guest today.
Thank you.
And what would you like to say, or is there anything that you would like to say before we close out this show?
Well, I think yes, being a retired person, when you retire from your job, you don't retire from life. Look for volunteer opportunities because it's going to really enhance your life, I think, and happiness.
Oftentimes, we have people come onto the show, and sometimes you just know with all the work that you do and that you've done over the years that somehow heaven must be missing an angel. So today I have for you a little symbolic angel for you to give. I would like to give that to you. And, thank you for being the angel down here that you are.
Thank you.
And so listening audience, we want to thank you once again for tuning in to our show and understanding that we do have a mission here for our youth and for our community. We want each of you to get involved, and for our blind constituents and colleagues, don't let blindness hold you back. You can achieve your dreams. Only if you can believe it, you can achieve it. So God bless each of you, and we'll see you next week.
The National Federation of the Blind, Newsline, Indiana. For more information, go to nfb-in.org or call 855-963-6476. That's 855-963-6476. The National Federation of the Blind encourages you to live the life you want.